open up executive for one. Executive for one. 22nd Amendment. First hand I see. What is the 22nd Amendment? Go ahead, Salvador. What is the president's term limit?
2 years.
2 years. The president's term limit actually is 2 years. Or what, 2 years?
I mean 2 terms.
2 terms. 8 years or 2 terms, yeah. So the 22nd Amendment specifically says this. Go ahead, click it. What's the 10-year rule, James's group? Y'all will have it next. You've got it now. 5.
They can only have a cumulative of 10 years in total, which means like they could have like if vice president gets into power because something happens to the president.
Okay.
So that adds on to the 10 years. So if they serve 2 consecutive presidential terms, that's 8 years, and they can only serve 2 years after that.
Okay, so if something happened to Barack today, Biden becomes the president, right? How long can he serve?
For 1 year, and then after that he can only serve 2 years.
And then after that he can serve 2 more because that's less than the 10 years. Yeah, that's actually really, really good on this. Understand with term limits, you can't serve longer than 10 years. So if the president dies in the back half of his term with less than half to go, you could conceivably be elected twice. If the president dies in the first half of the term, you could actually only be elected once and you'd have to step away. Touch the house. Pick me a category. Y'all have the early lead. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Judiciary 2 points.
Judiciary for 2. List all you can. Click it. Before the Miller test, how did the Supreme Court determine if pornography was legal? What did they do? Go ahead.
They went down to the thing and
They went down to the thing. Zoom in. Go back there. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. Richie.
they went into a room and they all watched porn together, basically.
So the 9 Supreme Court justices, in fact, and this is Nick's group, 1, 2, after business hours, they would fire up the projector and they would go watch porn. Is there anything else that's noticeable or notable about this? 5.
9 men watching porn in the room.
9 old men would actually be watching porn together. That sounds like that room got hot too, doesn't it? Anything else you can tell me?
They're sitting close because they can't hear, they can't see.
And what would they do when somebody couldn't hear, couldn't see?
They get close to the
They'd have to explain it.
They literally
Yeah, these justices would actually explain in a really loud voice, in fact, what was going on. So they would, if you couldn't see, if you couldn't hear, they would explain it to the justices that couldn't. This was before the Miller test. Go ahead, pick me a category.
1 second.
And actually, hang on a second. We need to put you, why don't you come up here and be with Erica, because y'all have been so good all semester. And actually, why don't you come up here in the small group and make sure that you're in. Go ahead, and what's that?
I said you made her my mother in the scenario.
But she didn't put you in daycare. No, she didn't put you in daycare. Ashley, come on up. Okay, go ahead and clear that off really fast. Just touch it and touch the house. Okay, go ahead, Toby.
Whatever, articles and videos, 5 points.
Oh, big spender. Articles and videos for 5. 5 things. Wow, that's good enough. Actually, I think your hand was first. Go ahead, Cole.
Okay.
5 things the president can do when presented with a validly passed bill from Congress.
Okay, so the first thing he can do is sign it, and it gets passed. The second thing he can do is, oh wait. Okay, so the first thing he can do is sign it. Second thing he can
The
do is...
president actually can sign the bill, yeah, and that's a valid piece on this. And when the president signs it, what happens?
Then it gets passed,
It becomes law. Go ahead, tell me some more.
Second thing he can do is veto it, and it just dies.
Okay, does it just die? 5.
Well,
4.
or it'll go back to that to Congress, and with a 2/3 vote, it'll become law.
President can actually veto it, and he could conceivably die right there. But a 2/3 vote from the House and the Senate would override the veto, and in fact, it would become law. Tell me some more.
Third, I guess one thing he can do is sit on it, and it'll either die or after 10 days it'll become law.
Explain the 10-day part to this.
So if Congress adjourns within 10 days of the president getting the bill, excluding Sundays, then they can make it law.
Okay, if Congress adjourns within 10 days, so today is December the 12th, I think. It is. I don't know, let's say that today is December the 12th. If today is December the 12th and Congress adjourns on the 19th, that's inside of 10 days. That means that the bill automatically becomes law and it is killed. What's another word for that, Cole?
What's another word for what?
For the president doing nothing and the bill dying. It is a pocket veto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what's the other part of the 10 days? If it's longer before Congress adjourns than 10 days, excluding Sundays?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
What is the other part? If it's less than 10 days, the bill dies. What if
Right.
it's longer than 10 days?
If what's longer than 10
The
days?
president does nothing and Congress stays active longer than 10 days. 5.
Congress
Becomes a law.
It actually becomes law if it's longer than 10 days. Anything else you can tell me? 4. So the president can sign it, president can veto it, president can pocket veto it or do nothing. You guys, anybody in the group? 4.
There's a presidential signing statement.
What is a signing statement?
Basically, it's a policy issue only, and it's perfectly legal, and George W. was the one that used it most.
Well, what is a sign? What does it do? What's it mean?
Basically, it's like the president's own interpretation of the like he'll say he passes it, but only after his turn, I guess.
Okay, so a president can actually issue a signing statement. So the president signs a bill and then offers like a qualification. I'll go with that. Can you give me an example?
Example is when W. Bush signed the torture ban because it provided funding for other programs, but he put a PSS saying that he's still going to torture for U.S.
He
security.
basically said, I reserve the right not to actually observe this ban. And then the other piece about this is that presidents issue signing statements only on Article 2 powers. You started to say something about W. Bush. What did you say before?
I said he was the one that used it the most out of all presidents.
Is that the best way of saying it? He used it most, or is there something else that can be said?
He did more PSSs than any other president.
There's another way of saying it. Can anybody give me something more specific? Go ahead, Juan.
He did more PSS than any presidents combined.
He did more signing statements than any other American presidents combined. Absolutely. So we got signing statement, we got do nothing, we got veto, we got sign it. What's the fifth thing?
The line item deal?
But y'all are done. Do you know what the fifth thing is, next group? They said veto, but there's still a fifth thing. Anybody first hand? Go ahead, Britt.
A line item?
It is a line item veto. What is a line item veto, Britt? Yeah, but she didn't have control of the board.
You can still go for it?
I told you that y'all had control. Go ahead, Britt. What is the line item?
When you can go through the bill and just veto line by line what you don't want.
What kind of bill is it? 5,
What is it?
4.
Budget bill.
Budget bills. When the president has a budget bill, Lovebirds is on the board. When the president has a budget bill, the president can go line by line and not veto the whole thing, but remove certain elements of spending. Is there anything else that's very important that you want to tell me about a line item? 5. You guys have it? It's unconstitutional. Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead, click it if you would, and touch the house. Pick me a category. Gotta go.
Judiciary force.
Judiciary for 4. What principle did Marbury versus Madison establish firsthand? I believe it's you, James.
Judicial review.
Judicial review. Click it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Judicial review. That was a chapter question. Don't forget about the chapter questions. Pick me a category.
Articles and videos for 4.
Articles and videos. Oh, we have our first Pictionary. Who from this mammoth group is going to come up and draw? What was this? Articles?
Don's the artist.
Oh man.
Need somebody to come up and draw.
I'll try to. This isn't gonna work.
Okay, now their markers are down there.
Oh, man.
Lisa, if you could hit the light switch. I'm going to give you 1 minute and we're going to start this on the 6. That's what I need you to draw. Got it? Got it. 1 minute on the 6. Go. Articles. And actually this isn't an article, but it's important. And y'all can guess as much as you need to. If you can't see, you can move.
Whatever.
Duel! Yes, it's the duel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you tell me this? I believe your hand has got it next. Can you tell me the significance of the duel?
It was the election of 1800.
The election of 1800, James's group. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead.
You gotta symbolize
It was,
And your group has it, so anybody can give answers. Go ahead.
So you can help me. So Alexander Hamilton did not like Burr.
Alexander Hamilton did not like Burr. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go.
And,
So what happened?
well, during the duel, Alexander Hamilton shot his gun in
Well,
the
wait. What led to the duel? 4,
For
They didn't.
3. What about the presidency, Sumner?
Because
2.
Adam said he was going to be vice president, but then the majority wanted him.
Adam said he was going to be minus 4. No, minus 4. Who's? It is Cole, right? And then back there. Oh, it's back there. Go ahead.
Burr said he was going to be vice president.
Burr said he was going to be vice president.
When he had the chance, when he was tied.
Who did he tie with? Jefferson and Burr tied. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jefferson and Burr tied.
So he went-
And Burr originally was supposed to be the vice president.
So he ran
Absolutely.
for
Tell me
president.
more.
So we ran for president when he had the chance, and he still lost.
How did they determine who became president?
It was the House. Alexander Hamilton and the Federalists chose Jefferson because Hamilton said Burr would lead the country to the ground.
Hamilton did not like Jefferson, but Hamilton actually thought that Burr would be the ruin of the country, and they threw the election, legally mind you, but they threw the election, in fact, to Jefferson in the House of Representatives. Then what happened?
They had a duel.
Who?
Burr and Hamilton.
And how did the duel work?
They walk each other's steps. They say ready. They usually shoot up. The
Do they
first one-
usually shoot up?
No. They usually it's
5.
basically shoot each other.
They don't
But
want
Jefferson-
war.
It's the first to shoot. It's the first to shoot.
The first to shoot shoots up.
No. Basically, whatever. You have to shoot the other guy, but Jefferson. No. The other guy shot. Hamilton shot.
Is it Cole? Okay, go ahead, Cole. So we've gotten to the duel.
So we've gotten to the duel. Okay, so
Love it, yeah.
So so they turned around, they got to the duel, they did the little paces and all that. They turned around. Hamilton shot upwards
Okay, and why did you do that?
as kind of a, I believe it was
And
kind
what in
of,
the group?
it
4.
was kind of like just
3.
because he didn't want to kill the guy. It's like a peace kind of.
2.
Because he had told all that stuff with it. He told his son Jackson when they do that.
Now they've already had it, so it's got to be Brit, right? Okay, why did he shoot up in the air?
Honor. Like he didn't want to.
Okay, we're doing our best. Go ahead, break through. Told you that. Okay, I need an answer. Yeah.
So instead of killing him and winning, he shot first, symbolizing that he won without killing him.
I think Cole said that. -4.
No!
I think that runs through all of the groups. He shot up in the air to preserve his honor. That's basically what he was doing. I never heard you say that. I never heard it. I didn't hear it either. I never heard it. But for our purposes, he shot straight up in the air. He shot straight up in the air in order to preserve his honor. And then Burr shot and killed Hamilton.
that woman's fault.
Yeah, I said
Maybe you should go knock on her door. No. Okay, so they ultimately shot. First hand I see. Put them all down. First hand I see. So Burr kills Hamilton, the man that's on the $10 bill. What amendment was the result of this? I do think it was Ashley.
The 12th.
And what does the 12th Amendment say?
It makes
5.
it so that the president and vice president run together and that people
It
vote for
does.
both.
1, 2, 3, 4. How was it that the president and the vice president used to be picked at the beginning?
So it used to be the person with the most votes would be president, and the person with the second most votes became the vice.
Yeah, that's exactly 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead. I'll get the light this time. Pick me a category, Cole's group. Go ahead.
What do you guys want to do?
Gotta go quick.
Executive.
Executive for what?
3.
Executive for 3. Go ahead. List all you can. Click it. Nixon versus
Okay.
Fitzgerald. I think y'all have it next, but you've got it now.
Okay, so Fitzgerald was this guy in charge of this faulty bomber program.
Bomber program. Do you know what his title was, Fitzgerald?
What was his title? He was like a big executive.
The ambassador of...
He was an no, he wasn't an ambassador. No, we can't go there. I could give a lot of. Go ahead, guys. You have it next group. You'll have it next.
Okay, well, we don't necessarily know what his title was. So we're not going to do a wrong
He was a what, Ricardo?
He was the second.
Secretary?
He was an undersecretary. So he was a level down. That's what it was. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's closer than ambassador. Go ahead, tell me more.
Okay, so he was suing Nixon because he thought that he was wrongfully fired because
Yeah, he did.
Nixon basically said that you know.
What did Fitzgerald do that got Nixon so upset?
He told Congress about like the faulty, buildings instead of the bombing thing, whatever, and Nixon was going to make his life in Congress hell. Like I believe the thing he said was like, we're gonna let him bleed a little first.
He did say we're going to